this is Els Comedy from Beamish Crafty Corner, and we are working on part 2 of book 3 of the Dark Macabre series. So far, we have roughed up our cover. We have painted it with some black gesso, done some stenciling front and back on this one, and then we went ahead and varnished it over with a light touch varnish. Then we added our spine cover, and we added our book cloth to the inside. Then I went ahead and I sewed in 4 signatures. And today what we're going to do is we're going to get some pockets cut, get some pockets put into this, and possibly get some tags done. And then we can move on. So, give me a second. I will get out all of the paper. We'll get everything cut up, and we will get started. All right. So, I went ahead and I selected some paper out of this book. And I pulled the cut apart, some of the cut aparts out, and I cut down a stack of pockets. Let me get there. Here we go. So I cut down a stack of pockets. Now everything in here is directional, I found, so I had to either cut one side or the other. I don't like doing that, but you know, sometimes we have to. But I did cut down a stack of pockets in a bunch of different paper. I cut down and trimmed all of the cut aparts for this one. And let's see what else. Those are all the cut aparts, and then I cut some straight pockets for it. And then I did a little fussy cutting, not much because this pad didn't really have a lot of fussy cut to do, but I did fussy cut some of the images, and we are going to get started putting these things in. Now we have our stack of journaling cards that have all been backed on heavyweight cardstock. So these are nice and thick. Some of them I'm going to use as decorations. Some of them I'm going to use as journaling cards. But, I mean, there's some things in here that are kind of like, this is just not a journaling card. So we're going to probably be using that someplace, okay? So I have all of those set aside. I have some gold flowers, which I think kind of fit the whole overall characteristic here. We have some dimensional stickers that I got from Recollections, some specific washi tape that is sugar skulls and the banners, and then I got in some of these dingle balls, you know. So we're going to use those as well. And we're just going to get started putting pockets in today and kind of figuring out where those things go. So I already have one image here on the front, and that was one of my journaling cards, but I just like the way it looked there, so you know. I'm not sure what I want to do with the first page. Okay, so all of the beige colored ones, these tea-dyed ones, I'm going to go ahead and leave those alone because I want to leave them for journaling. So I'm going to go through, let me get to my journaling cards here, to my pockets. And what I'm going to do is just start kind of putting pockets in here. And once I get all my pockets kind of preset, then I will go ahead and get them glued in. And once I have everything glued in, then we can start with some washi tape and some decorations, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and put all the pockets in, and then I will be back. All right, so I went in and I laid in some pockets, and I do still have some special type pockets that I want to put in here, and the ones that I put in were just the basic ones I cut. So as I go through this, if I want to change anything out, I'll do that as I go through. So we'll start here in the front, and the very first thing we're going to do is we're going to ink our pockets before we glue them down. Now I may decide that I'm going to put some gusseted pockets in here, and if I do decide to do that, I have some strips cut already, and I decided that the best color to do that with would just be to stick with black throughout, since I'm edging everything with black ink. So if I decide I'm going to put those in, then I will go ahead and do a gusseted pocket. Get the glue open here. Now this one's kind of an odd cut. I don't know if I want to put him here where he's looking into the wall and make this the pocket side, or if I want to do this way and just come around and make this the pocket side. Oh, I think what we're going to do is this. We're going to come around here and down and across. And I think we're going to set him over here. And leave that as a pocket. Again, we are leaving all of the tea-dyed paper alone to work as journaling space. We will decorate that later with washi tape and those types of things, and ribbon and things. So I don't want to really interfere with those full pages. And as always, I'm pulling the pockets up a little bit from the bottom and off the side in case I decide I want to decorate with ribbon or something in this page. Okay, so I did a little review, and I decided that the best thing for me to do here was to use colors that matched the pockets that I was putting in. So we're going to be using some of those great mathing skills here. And I'm just going to be mitering these corners in from the fold to the open edge. I'm going to go ahead and put some glue on. I'm going to match up the top corner here. And I'm just going to make sure that this sits right on the edge there. I don't want it coming out. I just want it to be right at the edge. And then I'll do the one on the bottom as well, same way. and then we'll just ink that whole thing up. Okay, not forget the top and this edge here. And we'll put on some glue and get this one put in. This one, I can go all the way to the edge on this because I do not put lace on this side of the paper, always on the other side. We're going to go ahead and go past this one. And then I have this little one, which is a special pocket. There's some words in here that are parental names or family names. So I'm going to mat these. So what I've done is I've cut a piece of the paper from the pack that is just 1/8 of an inch larger all the way around. So it's a 1/4 of an inch longer and 1/4 of an inch wider. That gives me a 1/8 of an inch gap all the way around. Get that on there. Just get rid of the white edge because it is scrapbook paper, and that means that it is white on the other side. And then I'm going to put this in, and I'm not really putting it in so much as a pocket or anything as I am a tuck. So I'm just going to put some glue on this end and put some glue on this end. And I'm going to find the place I like and just put that down and hold it for a moment, let it dry, and we'll go ahead and move on. I have another large pocket that I'm going to be placing here, and I want to talk about one of the other pockets that I'm doing, so let me find that real quick. It's actually a belly band, so let me find it. Here it is. And so what I have here is some more of the scrapbook paper, and since this is such a large piece, I'm going to go ahead and make sure that I ink this as well. And then I'm going to go ahead and put some glue on this piece. And you can use tape or glue, whatever you prefer for this portion. I just really like the speed and ease of using a wet adhesive. Again, I've cut this to be 1/4 of an inch longer and 1/4 of an inch wider, which will give me a 1/8 inch piece on each side. So if I just line it up top and bottom here, it should line up there as well. And this is going to be a nice wide belly band. So I'm going to put some glue on the top as well as the bottom. I'm not going to bother to ink this up though because I kind of like the contrast of it. Okay, get that on there. Now if I need to trim this in any way, I can go ahead and trim that once it's in the book. You see that it's sticking up just a tad there. So I'll go ahead and just trim that off. There we go. And it doesn't make that big of a difference on the front. So that's the other pocket that I'm putting in. Now as I go through, I will change out a few other pockets and get all my belly bands and things put in, and then I will be right back once everything is glued in, okay? Okay, so now that we have all of our pockets put in and all of our tuck spots, and there's still a few places we're going to be working, I went through and decided that I wanted to go through these cards, so I pulled the ones that I thought would be, you know, good enough for the right size to make journaling cards out of, you know, and I separated those, and we'll come back to those later. And then I pulled out some of the smaller images that I thought these would be good for decorating pages, you know, just as a little decoration here and there. And some of them were even too small for that. And let me pull these, put these away. So those I took out and I cut them down. And I did a little fussy cutting so I could get them pulled. And I made some tags. And my tags are 3 inches wide and they're 5.5 inches long. Oop, I missed a corner here. You round this out. So I rounded some corners and I did pop holes at the top and I cut the corners on these, the edges. And we're going to build 5 tags because we have 5 images. So let's just start by inking this up because we don't want that white edge. Okay. Once I have these all kind of gently inked, and I'm really more concerned about just the edge being white than I am about, you know, actually having ink on the image. Once I have these kind of all inked up, we're going to go ahead and start kind of putting them on tags here just to see. I mean, like this guy, you know, obviously he'll be there, and that'll go there, and like this one here, and this one could probably go along the edge, and she should be right there. And so at this point, I'm going to kind of start looking at some of the different things that I have as far as decorations and see if we can kind of dress these up a little bit. So let's take a look at what we have. We have a skull. And these are sugar skulls. They are that style. He's cute. You gotta love her. And I think that she would have some flowers. So let's take a few of these out. There's a couple of really small ones in here, and I think that's kind of her style. Maybe a couple of small ones and a large one. You know what? I'm going to do 2 of these little gold ones, and then I think we'll do another color. Yeah, I think that'll work nicely, and we'll put a word there. And then we have this one. Not real sure what we're going to do with him yet, but we have him. This little guy, I think we should just put like rest in peace below him or something. So we'll work on that in a minute. And then this one, I think this one we're just probably going to use some jewels on it. And this one, I'll see if I have some blue flowers to bring out the blue flowers, or maybe some ivy on him. So I'm going to go ahead and kind of work on these a little bit, and then I'll come back as soon as I get them kind of organized and figure out what we're going to do with them, and then we'll put them together. All right, so I have kind of set out what I think will work here. Obviously, we need to add some bling and things like that to it, and we need to put in some eyelets, yada, yada, yada. You guys know the drill. So I'm going to go ahead and start it kind of gluing this stuff down. All right. So those are our tags. Let's see. So that's it for us today. Next time we come back, we'll talk about these words. I will have these tags completed, and we will begin putting some washi tape and things into the book. Until then, if you haven't done so already, go ahead and hit the subscribe button, like me, ring my bell, and share me with all your friends. Bye-bye.